VO in Stereo is sponsored by Bodalgo, international voice acting platform. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of VO in Stereo. As always, I'm your host, Jared Breschers. Along with me always is Stephen Coghill. And today, we always have really good guests, but this one's a little special too. Let's just see. She runs a branding podcast. She is an international, national commercial narrator, singer, jingle. There's so much that we're going to dive into. This woman she's a superhero. Please help me welcome Miss Jodi Krangle.
Woo! That was a very nice intro, yes.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Sometimes words from here don't come out here right, and I'm just glad that we are at this part of the show. And now I hand it to Stephen.
Anytime someone can call me a superhero, I'm there for that. Sure.
Thank you so much for being on, Jodi. It's so awesome.
My pleasure.
I would have went through so many of the things you've done, but I was like, we have a time limit on the show.
We have not time for those things.
It's all good. You did awesome.
Thank you. All right, Stephen,
so
go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Took me a while to get you on, but we finally got you here.
Yeah.
My first question. Yes, very important. My first question is always the same question I ask everybody: is where did you grow up? Where are you from?
I am from just north. Well, actually, I grew up in Toronto. I now live just north of Toronto, around 45 minutes up the highway, which it's called a parkway, but we affectionately call it a parkway because it really is where you park. Going into downtown Toronto is always a joy and a half, let's say.
It's always bizarre to drive on a parkway and park in a driveway.
Yeah. I mean, when you realize how slow it moves, the idea of it being a parkway makes total sense. But
because you're looking at the park while you're sitting there, and
you have plenty of time.
Through the meadows we travel. No.
Gotta say though, I have not made a trip into Toronto in quite some time, mostly because of this gosh darn pandemic. But I have a home studio, so I haven't needed to, which is really nice.
And so, yes, you always had that.
Yeah, I've had that since I started. That
Right.
was 2007. It wasn't always a separate booth, put it that way. I got that in around 2011, and very happy that I got it.
I'm sure. Did you have brothers and sisters growing up?
I have a younger sister, and she lives in a place a little further south than I am, but probably 10-15 minutes away.
And what's her name?
Her name is Raina.
Hi, Raina.
Raina.
Hello, Raina.
Yep, Raina, because my parents.
Were y'all mischievous as children?
Different. Oh yeah.
Oh, I need a mischievous story. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, I don't know if I could think of any particular story, but I do remember, fighting on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
The joy of facing the back of a station wagon and like nudging each other. Mom, she's touching me. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were totally that way.
The eternal glory of sisterly love. Yes, it's always like that. And so
but she's also a musician, so she's a teacher. So she teaches basically 10-year-olds, And she's been doing a lot of stuff from home now with the pandemic, so teaching online. And she's a singer in the folk rock kind of genre, and writes her own songs, and does some great work.
So that was going to be my next question, was if she was creative, and obviously she was creative, and you were creative. So you guys were creative growing up?
Our parents raised us that way, actually. I think I've mentioned this a couple of times on other podcasts, but my parents, we had sing-along time. We did not have story time when I was a kid. We would all, with all the dogs and my sister and I, we'd all gather on one of our beds, and my dad would play guitar and my mom would sing. She has a beautiful voice. And my dad plays guitar and piano by ear. Although I don't think he's played piano. He hasn't played guitar in a pretty long time, but he still has a piano. And so we were always raised with music. Sound was always a big thing in our house.
That's ridiculously magnificent. Are you kidding me? I'd be like, are you tired? You ready to get up and go to bed? Grab the fork. It's time to do the dishes. Are you kidding me? That's where I dreamt of growing up at. Instead of my house, I'd start to be like, hello, everyone. Are you ready for dinner? Shut the hell up and get back to your chores, stupid. All right, then. Love you too, Mom.
Not quite the sound of music.
Oh, boy. Well, no family is perfect, but that was kind of nice.
That's awesome. What is the most endearing song you can remember? What's song that just, man, it does it for you? Like from that time that's just.
From when.
Your family sing along.
You know the lullaby from The Court Jester?
No, I do not.
Oh, you guys, if you've not seen The Court Jester, you need to watch that movie.
I'm sure I have. But
Danny Kaye. Oh, my God.
No, I have. I definitely have.
Yeah.
But
I can't remember how it goes now, but my mom used to sing it to us on a pretty regular basis and loved it, and I love it as well. Like, it's just it's a beautiful, beautiful song. But yeah, we would sing all sorts of stuff. Bruce Cockburn, All the Diamonds in the World. That's another one that I have really fond memories of childhood, because my parents actually did a tape of them harmonizing on it, and my dad playing guitar and them doing a version of it, and it was so gorgeous.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So that's like early multi-tracking without a studio.
Yeah. Well,
all right, hit the backing vocals, honey.
They might have actually gone into a studio for that. I can't recall, but yeah. I think they were just sitting around, with a mic and sitting around the mic and doing it. Sure. So I don't know. Sure.
Absolutely. So, were you involved in school, at stage and drama and stuff in school, or?
Yeah. I mean, I did the usual band stuff when I was in junior high, and I played the French horn up until I got braces.
You have something I can stick my hand in. That's what I never understood.
Yeah.
Anything I can stick my hand in to play, that'd be awesome. Oh, it's the hardest instrument? Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah, totally. I did that because I did not read a note of music, and I wanted to I guess challenge myself because I was following everyone else, and I was so fast with the getting it by ear part that no one really knew I wasn't reading the music.
That's impressive, especially on that instrument.
But it lasted like a year and a half, and then when I got my braces, that's not something you want to be doing with embouchure.
I was not take this tambourine.
Yeah. No, shred the inside of your mouth. No, you do not want that.
I had braces. Yes, they are horrible. That's back before when you went and got them tightened. Like the next 2 days was just ruined. What do you want to do? I don't know what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So I had to stop doing that. And then when I went to high school, I started singing. But I'd been singing all my life, but up until then, but I didn't actually do it in a program until high school. And actually, I hadn't really joined the program because, again, didn't read music, so couldn't be a part of the actual program. But because my teacher was very open-minded and interested in anyone, even in the after-school programs, that was interested in music, he invited me to be a part of the jazz quartet. And so I did that for a while, and I was the alto part, which, as you probably know, is, again, the most difficult part because you are never actually singing the melody. So my teacher would play what I would be singing on the piano, give me a tape, I would go home, rehearse it, come back, and do the alto part.
Very smart.
What?
Yeah, yeah. And okay, you have to know what my teacher's name was. His name was Mr. Minor.
Mr. Minor?
Minor.
That's fantastic. That's
I had a math teacher named Miss Dollar, and I would always be like, "This dollar makes sense," and she like, "That's it, another day of detention."
Yeah. I mean, these are the moments that influence your lives.
Yeah, I was only in chorus because I was trying to be a smartass when I was going through for football practice, and then when you signed up in the summertime, I was singing Christmas carols, and then Miss Cotton had grabbed me and she goes, "Oh no, they're gonna coach you too," and she's like, "Yeah, and what are some other boys?" "Yep, So we ended up, it was a lot of fun. But when they found out it was 66 girls to every guy, they were like, "I'll sign up."
They liked that, did they? Yeah.
It was some good times, man. Going to sing for people and doing the performances was awesome. So I totally get you on that.
It's fun. It was a lot of fun. And so I really enjoyed that part of it. But I also would perform songs that I had written myself on piano at every holiday concert that the school put together. So it became like a known quantity that Jodi would be performing a song at some point during this recital, whatever. And I still didn't read music. I played piano by ear and learned from my dad and what I was hearing and teaching myself songs and writing songs,
Question.
That I think.
When you're playing piano by ear, how hard is it to keep your head from smashing?
Yeah, you got to have big ears. You got to have very big ears.
That was fantastic. I'm super jealous that you can do that. That's
I haven't done it in a really long time. I actually do not have a piano in here anymore.
You don't have no piano? That is ridiculous.
I have no piano. No.
Oh, got to get you a piano.
But yeah, it was something that I really, really enjoyed doing, and I did it right up until I graduated high school. And in fact, the last year before I graduated, they gave me the music award for the school, but they gave it to me in concert with someone else who was actually in the program. Because that the school felt that they really needed to actually give some, kudos to someone who actually went through the curriculum.
See, I just have a whole problem with that because I've had great successes in music and I don't know how to read music and I don't know chords and do anything.
Like you, I don't know that it's necessary per se, but I mean I can't say that the student that won it with me that year was bad. He was a violinist and he was really, really good. So I was probably the afterthought. I don't know. I don't know how that. I don't know what they talked about. I don't know how it was decided.
No. Just so you guys know from here on out for the rest of your lives, I'll clarify it for the rest of us who look at you and be like, "Those sons of mother." No, we don't like it. We don't. We don't like it at all. We enjoy it, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. I'm just kidding. It's such an amazing talent to pick up any instrument. And what kills me is there's people out there that can pick up every instrument and do the same dang thing. And it's like, you can do it on a djembanji or whatever the hell this thing is called for real.
I know someone like that. He can play a theremin. Do you know what a theremin is?
Yes.
Yeah. He plays everything. This is the guy that co-created my album when I finally did that in 2015. His name's Chris Conway, and he lives in Leicester in the UK. And we've been friends for a long, long time. And did this sort of like cross-continent. Like he would send me backing tracks and I'd send him the vocals and he would take it, mix it, master it. I'd do harmonies. He'd, do other harmonies. Like, that was how the whole album was done. And I swear he plays every instrument known to man. It's unbelievable. It's like, I so admire him. It's amazing. chrisconway.org. You gotta check this out.
What's the name of the Krangle experience? What's the name of the album?
Oh, the album is called Time Will Tell.
Ooh, what did it tell
and
you?
we co-wrote some stuff together. So that was one of the songs.
It'll be running right underneath that bar right there and be like, check it out.
It sure will. Run right there.
It'll be down there at the bottom. Everybody look at the bottom. That's where you're right. Not at me, at the bottom. Thank you.
All the way down.
People, I tell you. So flipping the direction of, I love that we can talk to music with you. But VO, what was your first taste?
The CNIB, so the Canadian National Institute for the Blind. In 1995, I was volunteering my services to read articles from magazines onto tape. And at the time, it actually was reel-to-reel tape because it was a government-funded institution and they didn't have a whole lot of money. And 95 was still early, so yeah, reel-to-reel tapes. And I found that I liked the tech of it as much as I liked the voicing. So that was kind of an interesting discovery for me, but not entirely unexpected. I've always loved computers. I got my first computer in '86. So I have really always had sort of a whole left brain, right brain thing going on. And I actually sold computers at the beginning of the 90s. So, yeah.
Dude, you're getting a Dell.
Man, you're getting the gateway, man.
These were all like pre-made. Like, I was working at a place where they made it was like a big place and they made your computer for you. There used to be a lot more of these than there are now.
Stores and all that are all closed, but yeah.
Yeah. But like the big stores that had like a brand name where they would put a sticker or something on it that had their store logo or something on it, and they'd build it for you from scratch, and they had a whole bunch of configurations you could get. And yeah, so I sold a lot of computers in the beginning when the 386SX was new, if you even remember what that is.
Vaguely.
Yeah, pretty early on.
I want to go back to the days of Ultima 5. Toss me, baby.
Toss me, baby. Give me the green screen, the spinach screen.
If you guys have never waited 30 minutes for an MP3, you don't know.
No. Or to download your email.
Oh, yeah. Or, that whole modem sound.
The AOL experience. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
My cat makes that noise when I step on its tail now. Pretty sweet. I mean, not at 3 in the morning, but it's pretty sweet.
No, hopefully not. But yeah, so getting back to the VO thing.
You never had that was like a happenstance thing. It wasn't a thing like, hey, I'm going to do VO now. It was just like, I'm doing this kind of already. And
I only did that for a year. And previous to that, this is the silliest story. When I was 11 years old, I used to call in to a talk radio show in Toronto called CKUY, 590 CKUY. And the show jock, the radio show jock, would always expect to hear from me when he came on to this is like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night or something. I think my parents don't know what I'm doing. They probably did, but and I'm 11 years old. I want to voice my opinion.
It started all this anyway, so.
It started it all. So I guess I kind of understood how cool it was to be on air. Like, I kind of understood that. I never really wanted to be a radio jock, like a DJ or anything like that. That was never really, radio wasn't my love. Recording it was. That was I kind of liked the whole recording thing, and the music flowed into that. And then 95, I did that volunteer work, and then it just kind of all fell into place. I was like, well, oh, so this is what voiceover is. Okay, well, I have to think about this. And apparently I needed to think about it for a very long time because I actually didn't do anything about it until around 2007. And I'd been doing SEO and internet marketing for years and years previous to that because I started a songwriting website in 1995 called The Muse's Muse.
Nice.
You're a mess.
I know. I'm all over the place.
Hi, my name is Jodi, and I can't sit still. I'll be right back. Thank you. I'm back.
I got hands in my pants. I got them for everybody.
Yeah. It's quite amazing.
You're like Oprah, but with stuff to do, and you get something to do, but there's only Jodi in the room, so she's like, "Damn it, I've got 35 things to do." Jodi turns around to Jodi and says, "Oh well, sweetie."
Yeah, it fed into the whole. Well, first of all, I hate being bored. Like, I just hate being bored. It's just been that's the story of my life right there.
But you know, like being bored and you got married. I just
believe me, there's so more than enough to keep me.
Oh yeah,
There's
We have not met the other half yet.
No, you have not. But yeah, it's just that it all kind of fed into the same place. I learned about computers. I learned about the internet. I loved music, and it all fed into each other and sort of, it all worked together. So really interested in the internet, started a songwriting website, stopped songwriting myself mostly because I was so busy facilitating for other people. And that actually went until 2016. I didn't actually shut it down until 2016, and it was huge by the time it ended. If you go look at musesmuse.com right now, you'll get some inkling of how big it actually was, because there are like thousands of pages on this thing, and articles and columns and artist spotlights. And I had a radio show at one point, and there was a really hopping. Yeah, exactly. There was a message board. There was all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that was how the SEO started, because I had no money. And of course, I was learning how to promote this thing on no money. So then I was like, well, okay, so I don't want to work for anyone else right now. Why don't I go out on my own and take what I've learned promoting the Muse's Muse and do it on behalf of other people? So I did that until 2007. And then in 2007, I kind of looked around at the decimation of search engines and looked at Google and went, oh, well, that's boring. And we all know how I hate to be bored. So I just decided, okay, done with the SEO internet marketing. Let's do this voiceover thing. Let's do that.
Smart.
Yeah. And
got you a few places.
Yeah, it got me a few places. You know what? It took me probably 2.5 years to make the kind of money that I was making as an SEO internet marketing person. And then it hit me that there's no real ceiling, because when you're doing a business that's based on the hours that you spend doing it, and that's what you're being paid for, and you're only one person, well, there's only so many hours in a day, and you're one person. So you can only make a certain amount of money unless you exponentially increase your pricing. I mean, there are ways to do it, I'm sure, but at the time I wasn't going to do that.
Who needs sleep?
Yeah, exactly. So when I came to the realization that with voiceover, you're really being paid for licensing your voice, as opposed to the hours you spend doing it. And actually that as you get better at this, it takes you less time, not more. Then worlds opened up. It was completely amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you're very active in the community. You're always doing, I know you used to attend VO Atlanta and all the different conventions. And
I did that once.
Because I remember seeing you there.
Yes, yeah.
So I think it was was it 18 or 19?
I think it was 2018. I don't think I went in 2019.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That's when I met that guy over there.
Yeah. I did go to a lot of them. And then at the beginning of 2020, I was like, I think I should go to some more business conferences and sort of leave the voiceover conferences behind. And then pandemic. So, okay, that decision was made for me.
That's
great. I think we're going to sit in your house. And then
I think for the next year and a half, you're going to do nothing. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Was there somebody who helped you kind of get into, like, as you were building your business? Was there somebody that helped you, or was there an organization that helped you, or did you just kind of forge your own path to getting your job?
I don't think any of us forge our own path. Whether or not we can point to any one particular person, I think it takes a community. I actually remember going first onto Julie Williams' message board, and she's a well-known voice coach, and she had a message board for a really long time that in 2007 I found because I was all over the internet. I was looking globally. I was not looking in my own backyard. I'd been on the internet for I don't know how long. It just was a natural progression for me to look out on the internet for more information on voiceover. I wasn't going to, ask around in my local area. That was like not even something I thought about.
Right.
But when I got onto that message board, I got to talk with people who were already working voiceover people. And it was an awakening. It was definitely an eye-opening experience. And I met a lot of people there that I still know to this day. And I don't know if any of you know, he's been gone a few years now, Patrick Sweeney. I don't know if you ever met him.
I did.
Yeah. Really, really sweet guy.
Very nice guy.
Such an open heart and a wonderful person. And I met him at first on that message board. And it's funny because we were local. Like he lived in Toronto.
I see.
So we got to know each other there and got together for coffee and, started up VO and TO from that, which is now it's a Facebook group because we're not meeting anywhere. But we used to meet at a particular pub once a month and have some people who would speak there and people would just get together and talk about the industry. And it was kind of the first non-union type thing that was going on in the Toronto area where people were actually socializing because the union doesn't do that. Like in big cities, the union doesn't organize. Okay, I mean, they do for union members, right? But for people outside the union, they're not organizing get-togethers where anyone can show up and ask a question. That's not generally how it goes.
Can't be in our club because
well, you just don't hear about them until you're part of the union, right? Which I get it. There's some cachet to that. I get it, but these were kind of the first gatherings that we had in the Toronto area that were open to everybody. And it was a really warm and welcoming environment. And I was really glad to be a part of that. And really, Pat was the guiding force of that. I was like a co-administrator, kind of like I'm co-administrating the water cooler chat now. I'm not, I'm helping to maybe approve people or like, but that's about it. I'm along for the ride. And Pat was a force of nature. So, he got a lot of things done. And unfortunately, he got sick a while back and passed away. And we miss him a lot in our area. So we miss him. Actually, lots of people miss him because he came to all the conferences, too. So a lot of people knew him.
I met him in 2018 via Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really sweet guy. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
But that message board was where I met him. And I met Lindsay Shepard, actually. I met her there before she was Lindsay Shepard.
Like she and Eric, I only saw Eric and it was when they were having the exchange. It was my first view of Atlanta, actually, and it was in the hallway. And it was her, and I think it was the voice.com people, and I got to see the first hand. And I was like, I don't know who he is, but I love that dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I found out that's his wife, and I was like, oh, shit, I want to go drinking with them.
Eric is definitely another force of nature, yes.
I just think that we can conform into this master blaster of a thing and be like, get on, Eric, we're going to fuck shit up or whatever. I'm sorry, my language.
Have you guys seen his Outspoken? It's Outspoken, isn't it?
Yes, I love that little video that he does.
They're hilarious. They're great. Just because he just tells it like it is. Okay.
I love it very much.
but yeah, I met Lindsay before she met Eric. So that was interesting. And just as a person that I knew over a message board, I mean, we didn't actually meet in person until I don't know. I don't even know if we've met in person actually now that I think about it. Um, I've met Eric in person, but I don't know that I've met Lindsay in person. I don't think that we've been at a conference together or spent any actual physical time together. But I knew of her way back when. So
Very cool.
yeah, I met a lot of people there and really learned a ton, and made the mistake of doing the whole demo mill demo, getting it completely lambasted on that message board, and then reaching out to a fellow named Lee Kane, who is a very well-known actor in the Chicago area. And he'd been acting for 30 years or something at that point, and kind of like really picked apart that demo like it needed to be picked apart. Like, I was devastated. I
Of
went
course.
away. I cried a little bit. I was butthurt. But I was young in the business. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I reached out to him in private message through the board and said, "Okay, I get it. I made a boo-boo.
How do I fix?
How do I fix this? What do I do?"
Yeah.
Because the big problem was I was coming at it from a musician's point of view, which isn't a bad thing. Definitely musicians have a leg up in certain aspects, but we don't have the acting. And the acting is really what's needed to complete that picture. So yes, when you're performing on stage, you are promoting a persona. You are being someone else as you're singing that song and getting across what that song needs to get across. So there is a certain amount of emoting that you need to do. There is a certain amount of that comes through. You need to care about what you're singing or what you're playing. There is an amount of that, but at the same time, acting is what really takes it that next level. And I had none of that. I'd done a little bit of it in like high school, but I hadn't really pursued it.
Right.
And I didn't, and I wasn't a film or theater actor, so I didn't really know how to figure that out. So he kindly took me under his wing, would send me scripts. I would send him an MP3 back of me performing the script, and then he would critique it, tell me to do again, and then I would do it again until he was happy. And eventually, from, just osmosis, really. I figured out kind of what I needed to do to find my truth in these scripts.
That's right. It's just it hails back to your parents putting you on the bed going, okay, this is how it's done. You read this and do it like this and sing this part and here's the other
Yeah.
part. And
Yeah.
you go, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I mean, there's different ways of learning it. I've always found that acting for me is more of it's more understanding what the intention is behind the script than it is entirely getting into my own head. I'd rather it be more natural, if that makes any sense. For me, the whole theater film thing of it isn't natural to me because I didn't have any of that training. So I don't understand how that works in my
One
head.
does not be taught to be fabulous.
Well, it's just it's living in that moment that I need to understand, and it needs to be more natural. And there are various ways to get there, and I know there are lots of great teachers out there and coaches who do that, and I'm not going to speak to that because everyone learns differently. And I've coached with a lot of really great coaches and appreciate everything that each one of them has given to me. I get a golden nugget from each one. So it's just something you develop over time, and then you understand who you are and what scripts speak to you more than others. And then, that's the work that you attract.
So let me ask
Provided you have some talent, like a little bit. You
True.
still need that.
You definitely need that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. So when you do a audition, do you believe in like practicing the script a long time beforehand, or you just like, okay, I got the script, okay, jump into the booth and just see what happens?
Yeah, I'm kind of bad that way. I
Well,
I
know
don't
if it's-
rehearse.
I don't know if that's bad because some coaches don't want you to read the script before
Yeah.
they coach you.
Yeah,
They
and
don't want you to get particular because you might start bad habits and you start repeating that and doing the same thing. So
that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. I think in my case, I will read it out loud once or twice just to make sure I have the gist of what it's saying and what the intention is behind the script. And then I go into the booth and I'll do maybe 2 or 3 takes, maybe 4. I'll keep 2 or I'll keep 1 and I'll send it off. And I don't tend to spend any more than, say, 10 minutes on one script. And even then, it could be less. Because it has to sound effortless. That's kind of the point, right?
It gets me. One of the funniest things about this industry is they're like, we want the conversational read. And that's the hardest thing for people to do. I was like, hold on. It's hard for you people to talk like me right now, talking to my friends. Are you out of your damn mind? You need someone to coach you how to be normal?
Well, you say that,
the
but
craziest thing in the world.
Well, you say that, but then you put words in their mouth and say it naturally, and then they go,
exactly, because you gave them you gave them another instruction.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
they have to think about it and then do it naturally. How in the hell are they going to do that, right?
Naturally means a lot of different things to people too. When you're talking about doing something naturally, I mean, think about the environment that we're all sitting in right now, right? I'm in a 5x4 booth with padding on the wall. I'm looking at a monitor. I have headphones on my head and a microphone stuck in my face. How is this a natural conversation? Right? So when you think about this, look, I mean, I'm talking to you guys, and that's great.
Right.
Yes, we're having a chat, right? But when I'm doing a script, there's no one in the room except me, right? I'm talking to some imaginary person in front of me while I'm reading something on a monitor with a microphone stuck in my face in a padded room. Like, that's unnatural. So what we do is take that unnatural environment and make it sound natural. And that's all it is, really. I mean, to me, to my mind, that's
right. You
that's
say that
naturally.
Yeah.
But
naturally, yes.
But it's not easy. Just like you said.
Oh no, it's not easy.
You put
it
yourself
totally
in that environment, which is, closed off from everything and isolated, and then you're supposed to be like, hey, I'm hanging out in a party and I'm talking to people and everything's great.
You better have good theater of the mind.
Better have
We're
good
going to Delaware.
Here we go.
But yeah, I mean, that's acting to me. All of this is acting, because making it sound natural is acting.
And everybody thinks they can do it now, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, voiceover, everyone says I have a microphone, I can do this, I have a voice and I can read. Oh, go ahead, man, please. After you.
Yeah. It's not only reading, it's being able to read ahead. Right?
I'll let people do it. I'll let them come in my booth after talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Immense amount of smack, and I'll give them copy, and I'll be like,
ahead,
I won't say nothing to them, and they'll be like,
knock it out of the park.
The ball is bounced in on Timmy's head, and Timmy can feel it. Be like, man, that was good. That was kind of close, man. Just now do it normal.
Now do it normal, not with all that weird stuff.
Jimmy was bouncing the ball off Nigel's head.
Yeah. I actually remember doing this. There used to be a studio around the corner from me where we were both a part of the Chamber of Commerce. And the people at the Chamber came to the studio to get a demonstration of what a voiceover person does and what a studio can do for you, right? They were all business people. So this was not, originally it's a music studio. In fact, one of the owners was part of a pretty well-known band in Canada. So yeah. Pardon?
Default.
Rush.
One of my favorite Canadians.
Rush.
But anyway, so he had the studio, and we invited the Chamber of Commerce to come by and see what we did. And we gave them a script. I put together a script of some kind, and I gave them the room and said, go ahead, do this script and try it out, see how you do. And they all went in there, and some of them were pretty good. Some of them were not too awful. But the majority of people were trying really hard. And that's what happens when you start, right? You try really hard. And, it wasn't something that they
You end up
thought would
sounding like
be
the
that
80s.
difficult. They didn't think it would be that difficult. And I think when they got out, they kind of understood. And then I went in and did the script. And then they understood, okay. So that's why not everybody can just go in front of a mic and say a script and be paid for it. So, yeah, it was a nice demonstration. It was actually interesting.
See what
to
all these reality shows have done? And make everybody think they're actors.
Well, reality shows. I don't know what that is. It's not acting.
Like the word normal. It's complete.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. It's
very
it's made up word to make people feel better.
Right. My normal is your weird. Who knows?
Yeah. But it was an interesting demonstration.
I have an off-topic question.
Go for it.
Oh, God. Here we go.
You're right. Here we do go. I want to know what your spirit animal is.
My spirit animal? You want to see my spirit animal?
See, now here we go. Yes. It's a gelatinous cube?
Yes.
Filled with
His
bones.
name is Cubie.
Oh, Cubie the gelatinous cube.
Full of bones and tissue,
Yes.
muscle.
And he has bones. Yes. No, this is my spirit animal and my,
Note to self and all the weary travelers out there. If you ever go into a clean dungeon, you're in the wrong place.
Oh, yeah.
If the dungeon is clean, you're in the wrong place. You turn around and you get out.
Right.
Yeah.
That means QB and his friend
Might
Cubert
be in
are there.
Disneyland. This is mine right here.
I love it. Yes. The
Dude,
Pez.
that's a giant
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. With the music and everything. That's
Music
awesome.
and everything. Yes, thank you, Chewy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
I am
I get some Pez. See, that was just an excuse. Anyway.
Sweet treat.
I am a D&D geek. So there you go.
Oh,
that's why I have a
yeah,
that's why I have my Cubie.
Since second edition or first edition, I can't remember.
Oh, fifth.
We make our own. We did a future one. We Gamma World or some kind of craziness.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were all into the Mad Max thing.
Oh, there's
that's
so
what we
much
did
there.
as kids. It's just what we did. And we'd have hours and hours and hours and hours of fun. It's really just
bring this up.
I've been playing since I was 18, and that's a very, very long time ago.
Oh.
I was more than happy to leave the parties and go play Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "You nerd." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yes. Lots and lots of fun. And, it helps a lot with the voiceover.
Huge.
I certainly have no problem going to that theater of the mind thing.
Developing. That's I highly recommend it to people who are asking to get in. I was like, "Do you do any tabletop gaming?" They're like, "What?" I was like, "Do you know of any improv?" And they're like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
I was like, "These are two things that are really going to help you develop." Well, how the hell is playing a game going to help me develop? I was like, because you're taking on a character and you're developing them and the world around you in the mind's eye. And there's all these different things you have to use. And for me, it's easy for, like you said, you go in there and you knock it out. It's because I keep a reference, like this giant Rolodex, mental Rolodex, and how to get there the fastest. And I can associate memories with people. I people watch and I take memories and I take places and I combine the two to make different sounds and noises. It's just kind of like I got 1,000 ladies at the phone board. This son of a bitch is crazy.
That's great, though. Yeah.
But I highly recommend
it's a wonderful way.
Especially like even on the Roll20, there's digital. You can go out there and you can find people. Like even if you have no idea what you're doing, you can go find a game and someone will explain it to you and just go have fun.
Yeah. I love Roll20.
I think Jodi
Actually,
saw,
Fantasy Grounds is another one.
I think Jodi saw our Frost
Yes,
Frost
I did.
Maiden video.
Oh, I had no idea it was important to the story until they told me. I went into one of the game stores. He's like, "You can't show that the first time." I'm like, "Okay, I'll wait." He's like, "Okay, thank you."
Yeah.
I'll play Warhammer, which is I don't recommend anyone spending that much money on Warhammer.
Dark Heresy, though, the RPG, oh my goodness. It depends on who's running the game. Because I have to say, yes, Warhammer 40K is really dark, like almost funny dark. Like it's like so dark that, yeah. But if you're playing with a GM who really understands the environment and can make it fun for you,
not just
not just relentlessly dark. Yeah, then it can be a lot of fun. So I had a crew of Death Watch Space Marines with me as the what do you call them? Oh my God, my brain just blanked. I was a human, basically. The Inquisitor. The Inquisitor. Yeah, so I'm the Inquisitor, and I'm surrounded by these Death Watch Space Marines, and it's like, it was hilarious because the GM was able to give both of us enough that we were all having fun. And
I'm just kidding. I just
storytelling.
Start talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm just like,
this is actually a different role-playing game.
Mm-hmm. Shows how much
Warhammer 40K is actually a miniatures game.
Okay.
So, and then they made a role-playing game out of it.
You know what? I'm going to ask one more crazy question, and I'll put it back in the tracks for Stefan. Okay.
You guys can get aside of the show, and you guys can talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Yes.
One more thing.
On the,
So if I just got to know, if you could pick a superpower, what would it be? And then Stephen can ask all his beautiful questions.
Oh, that is a good question. I'm really not sure. There's so many options. I mean, like the typical one is flying, but I don't know. I'm not all that fond of heights, so.
All right, well,
although it would make me a lot less afraid of heights if I could fly. So maybe that's a good one. I don't know.
We're going to go with flight and spaghetti hair. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'd have to give it more thought. It would be something that, yeah.
All right, Stephen.
I have watched Invincible, however. Have you guys seen that?
Crazy. It makes the boys look like kindercare.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's all, like, it's gory, but it's all cartoon gory, so I could handle it. But, yeah. But
I don't watch TV, so I'm sorry. I can't.
This was on Netflix, actually.
I mean, I don't.
Oh no, was it? No, it was Prime.
Screen?
It's Prime.
I don't watch TV.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm weird. It's fine. It's fine. Not
That's
everybody.
Okay.
This is what I do. This is what I do. So let me ask you a question. What? So you did a lot of singing.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of. So what sort of stuff have you sung on other than your own CD? I know you've sung on jingles and all sorts of stuff.
I haven't done jingles in a really long time, actually.
I know because that's kind of dead. I know jingles is kind of dead, and I wish they would bring that back because I think
it's a good way for people to remember who you are. I really think that people are missing out by not having jingles because
that's what I'm saying. Because that's the stuff like you remember
Jingle
jingles
jangle from Krangle. Oh,
like when you were a kid, you remember jingles like they echo in your brain for eternity. So I don't.
Totally
that's why I don't
do.
That's why I don't understand.
I just want to eat those Teddy Grahams, no beef.
Exactly. See, this is what I'm talking about, and we're totally missing out on that.
Yeah,
Turn down the Lionel Play World. Turn that frown upside down. No, stop it.
Yeah, but there are so many, and it's such a great way to remember the ad and the advertiser. It kind of breaks my heart that that's not happening anymore. I think there's just too much noise out there, though.
We need to bring it back, Jodi.
Yeah.
You and I single-handedly.
I'm going to find Justin Timberlake, and instead of sexy, we're going to bring jingles.
Well, he's kind of responsible for McDonald's.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah.
But that's a jingle.
Yeah. Originally, I think they hired him to use one of his songs, like they licensed one of his songs or something like that, or they wrote a song or he sang it. I know he sang it. And it was really popular for about a year. It was all over the place. And then they decided that they weren't going to have him do it because it was too expensive to keep paying him. And then they had someone else just do the chorus, I think. And then from that, it went just to that little da-da-da-da-da, like that, just that little part, right? and that was the end of that. So, and they've been using that for I don't know how long. So,
I'm gonna
long,
go
long time.
Puppets back, they're cheaper. Sorry,
But they,
we talk over each other now.
There's all sorts of stuff like that. Coca-Cola, I'd like to teach the world to sing,
Great commercial.
Yeah.
Whenever that commercial come on, like everybody stop what they're doing. Like, hey, that commercial's on. Everybody watch it. I remember
It was
that.
beautiful, and they just don't do that anymore.
They don't. It's terrible.
Oh, well.
It was easier to watch TV when there was 5 channels.
That is very true. Yes.
True. You had time to go do other things. You're like, okay, I don't have nothing's on until like 8 o'clock, and I get the whole day. I can do what I want.
Try to explain it to my kids.
Now you have a million channels and still nothing on at all.
Yes. Yeah. It's amazing.
If you missed the show, you never saw it. It was gone. The episode. Nope.
Never existed.
Now they're all on Prime.
Well, Jodi, I mean, we talked about a bunch of crazy stuff. Can you give me some, like, a Jodiism of just like a little tidbit, a little saucy little tidbit of help for those coming in the business or just that are in the business, maybe stagnant, just any kind of little sprinkle of sunshine for us?
Oh, I ought to take this one to heart myself more often, but run your own race. It's not my own saying. Someone else said that.
Right.
Like many people have said that, I'm sure. But we were just talking, I think, before we started this about social media and how it's kind of depressing to sometimes watch and see what the wonderful things going on in everyone's lives happen to be, when your life is like, eh.
I didn't get a puppy today.
Oh.
Yeah,
it can be hard to compare yourself to everyone else's highlight reel.
That's true.
So,
I try not to do that, but yeah, you're right. I try to, put my head down and just run my own race and not really worry about what other people are doing because you can't. You can't worry about that.
And things come to you in different times. So what success might look like for one person may not be what you think is success. Or if you even got that, you wouldn't know what to do with it. There's so many reasons to just do what you're going to do and do the best you can.
That's true. Now I know you're active on Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
To say the least. I know you're on
I'm there at specific
1,500
times.
shows or something like that at this point. So what your show is called The Power of Sound?
My club on Clubhouse is called The Power of Sound, yeah.
Power of Sound.
And the room that I open up at 2 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday is called Audio Branding, usually. And we just talk about anything audio related and the power of sound, because it really is powerful. And so, subjects run the gamut from voice AI to podcasting to voiceover to storytelling to healing with sound to all sorts of other stuff, audio dramas, like all sorts of things. We just let the discussion go where it takes us.
That's awesome. No, I've been in there and it's good, lots of information, lots of good people in there.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I also have a room going on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern with Cheryl Halling and Ann Ganguza. And we talk about voices in podcasting. So you guys should show up because you'd be more than welcome.
Jared busted in that room once.
Yes, you did.
That was so much fun.
It was fun.
You cannot put me anywhere. I'm sorry.
The problem is I was like in the audience and like I didn't have a microphone and I was laughing really hard and I couldn't like express myself at all. And I was like, this is frustrating. I want to laugh and everybody know I'm laughing.
It can be frustrating, yes.
Yeah.
Since we're dropping info and knowledge, drop the rest of the contact info where everybody can find you.
Yes, where can people find
me?
Miss
Be looking.
Krangle?
Oh, and don't forget, you want that jingle jangle from Krangle.
Okay, I love that now.
You can have it. It's yours. Jingle jangle from Krangle. You don't want to wrangle, mister.
Oh boy. Okay, if I could stop laughing.
Which laugh is legendary, by the way, too. So,
oh boy. Okay. So if people want to reach out to me, they are welcome to do that at voiceoversandvocals.com. And I have a podcast called Audio Branding, and that is at audiobrandingpodcast.com. So my episodes release on Wednesday morning, which is why I have my chat on Wednesday afternoon.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What about the Instas and the Facebooks and the Twitter who's?
I am not on Instagram. I'm just not there. But I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook. And if you look up my name, you'll find me.
Wow, you're on Twitter, but not Instagram. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just started on Twitter way before Instagram was a thing. And I just didn't do the Instagram. Didn't do the gram.
I get it. Some people, they're successful in some platforms and not others.
I'm starting to like LinkedIn a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
LinkedIn is very cool.
Yeah.
Me and this guy over here, we took a class together.
Yeah.
Juana Plata.
With Juana Plata.
Ah,
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's
He taught
a
us
lot
everything we don't know about LinkedIn.
There is a ton. Like I'm
There
still
is.
learning. There's
There
so
is.
much to learn.
There was a pile in my house about what I didn't know in LinkedIn. It would look like me. For those of you who cannot see, I'm a very large person. It would make it a large pile. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha.
Well, Stephen, you got any more questions?
I think we've run the gamut.
Oh, well, I didn't run anywhere, but I need to work on my cardio. I
You
say
and
it
me
just
both.
like this, guys. I had another fantastic time. I can't thank you so much for coming on. It's been extremely fantastic, and we'll have to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and the rest of the stuff later because I want to nerd out.
I don't want to bore Stephen.
Sure,
yes.
for sure.
Yeah, but I'm happy to do that anytime.
This has
My
been
geeky
enough,
self.
right?
I
I'm
can
like-
be my geeky self.
Right, Stephen, you can't judge us with all your instruments.
It's all you guys. It's
You be a
all
bard.
you guys.
My name was a Stephen, and I come from a running on a white horse.
Yeah,
Stephen,
that's
or something like that. We're gonna get you a
It's
loot,
beautiful.
and then we're gonna get the loot from the loot.
I need
Play
one.
on words. All right, everybody. That's another episode
right.
of VO in Stereo. Won't take any more time. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.